Imagine this. You're in a room, alone. Silence wraps around you. No one understands you. You feel the world quietly collapsing onto your shoulders. Even breathing starts to feel like a burden. And inside, a voice asks, "Will I survive this storm?" No. The real question is, how will I remain unbroken in the middle of this storm? This isn't just a video. This is a Stoic test, a challenge meant to measure your strength. If life has tried to bring you to your knees, if you've remained silent through pain you couldn't even scream out, if you carry burdens you've never told anyone about, then this test is for you, my friend. Because this test isn't about who you are, it's about who you could become. And if you're ready to awaken the silent warrior within you, subscribe to the channel, like this video and share it. Because someone out there needs the silent power you're about to release. There comes a moment in every life when the world feels like it's stopped. Your eyes are open, but you don't want to see anything. You speak to those around you, but no one really hears you. You're fighting a battle quietly, and this battle becomes an invisible war inside you. It's in these moments that Stoic philosophy calls to you in silence. Marcus Aurelius was the emperor of Rome, a man at the height of power, but he lived each day not as an emperor, but as a human being. He wrote in his journal, and on one page he wrote, "Do not try to run from the pain within. Observe it, because this pain is the fire that shapes you. Fear pain? No. Feel it, look at it, walk through it." That is the Stoic way. If today you are facing something difficult, understand this. It's not a punishment. It's an opportunity to reveal your inner strength. To the Stoics, hardship was a teacher. Not one of them complained about life. They said, "This has happened. It's now part of my life. What will I do with it?" That was their mindset. They didn't try to change the event. They focused on changing themselves. Because they knew, change on the inside changes the world on the outside. Most of us often think, why did this happen to me? But the Stoics said, this is your chance to grow. When hardship comes, some people let their inner light go out. But a Stoic shines even brighter, because the darker it gets, the more powerful the light becomes. If you're watching this video, it means there's a search within you. Maybe you've been struggling for a long time. Maybe today it feels like everything is over. But remember, this feeling is not the end. It is a calling. The Stoics' strength wasn't in how tough they looked, but in the choices they made and how they reacted. They didn't suppress emotions. They learned how to control them. Seneca once said, "If a tree doesn't have deep roots, it will fall in the first storm." A person is no different. If you don't have strong ground within you, you'll break at the first shock of life. So if today you're deep in a storm, don't ask, why me? Instead ask, what is this difficulty teaching me? How can I grow stronger because of this? Yes, life may sometimes try to break you, but Stoic philosophy tells you, you were not made to break. You were made to become unbreakable. Remember, this is not a game. This is a test. And how you respond to this test will shape not just today's pain, but tomorrow's version of you. What is true endurance? Is it just staying quiet? Many people think endurance means staying silent, holding everything in, not reacting, as if saying nothing is patience, as if burying everything inside is strength. But the Stoics saw it differently. To them, endurance wasn't about not reacting, it was about giving the right reaction. That means responding not from emotion, but from values. Seneca said, patience is not hiding the pain, it's standing with calm thought in the face of it. If a person stays silent but builds anger inside, they're not calming themselves, they're suppressing themselves. And that's neither patience nor strength. That is self-destruction. Let this be your reminder. You are not alone in the storm, and your silence may just be your superpower. Subscribe, like, and share this message. Because someone needs to hear this today. Being silent is one thing. Rising through silence is another. Endurance becomes power only when silence is intentional. That means you know why you're not responding. Because you choose silence not to escape, but to stay on your path. This is not passivity. This is energy conservation. If someone provokes you and you don't respond, that's not weakness. If in that moment you realize that reacting is a waste of time and energy, then you are truly enduring. The Stoics described endurance as preserving the temple within. The world may be shaking, people may be shouting, life may be chaos. But if you retreat inward and protect your inner power center, then you are practicing true Stoic endurance. This doesn't mean you feel nothing. On the contrary, you feel everything, but you don't allow those feelings to control you. You experience pain, but the pain doesn't own you. You observe the pain. This act of observation, it's like meditation. It's a conversation with your deeper self. Imagine, someone wrongs you. They insult you, try to humiliate you, criticize you harshly. Most people would explode in anger, argue, or shut down in sadness. But you breathe. Inside you whisper, "This does not define who I am." You don't respond because you don't measure your value by someone else's behavior. And in that moment, you are standing at the highest level of endurance because you didn't react, you chose. Sometimes, endurance isn't about stubborn resistance. It's about gently shifting direction. To the Stoics, life is not rigid, it flows. And you must learn to flow with it. If you're just banging your head against a wall, that's not endurance. True endurance is the ability to adapt, not to stand still without changing, but to transform without breaking. Now let me share with you a powerful story. The story of Epictetus. His life is one of the greatest sources of inspiration. When he was born, he had no freedom. He was a slave. Slavery wasn't just a status. It meant daily physical and emotional pain. For years, his body was beaten, tested, scarred. One day, his leg was badly injured, and he limped for the rest of his life. Such suffering would have broken most people. But Epictetus had something different. He had discovered an unshakable force within. He once said, "You can injure my body, but you can only control my mind with my permission." These words hold a powerful truth. This is a fortress against life's cruelty. This is the ultimate symbol of human inner freedom. But how? How did he not break under all that pain and injustice? He chose not to be a slave to what happened around him, but to take control of what happened within. Physical pain didn't break his will, it strengthened it. Epictetus teaches us, we may not choose what happens to us, but we can always choose how we respond. And that choice is the very essence of freedom. That choice is what keeps your inner light alive, even in your darkest hour. Now look at yourself. Today you may not be in physical chains, but perhaps you carry emotional, psychological or spiritual chains. Fear, doubt, shame, insecurity, the weight of the past. Epictetus said, no matter how heavy the chains are that bind you, as long as your mind is free, you are always free. That is humanity's greatest weapon. Because you can be free on the inside, even when the outside is against you. Epictetus' life is the embodiment of Stoic strength. This strength doesn't come from external events. It comes from within, from the unshakable power of your mind, your will, and your soul. Think about it. A man who took the hardest hits from life and refused to let them break him. He accepted the limits of his body, but also knew the mind has no limits. So remember Epictetus, and no matter how hard life gets around you, keep your mind free. Because true freedom is not in the body, it is in the mind. Now, I want to ask you a question. Do you have a breaking point? In fact, this question is the beginning of a test. What is your breaking point? Sometimes all it takes is one sentence. I don't need you anymore. Sorry, but you're not the right one for me. And sometimes there are no words at all, only silence. No phone call, no message. And inside you feel like you're alone in an empty room. You know this feeling, don't you? This is life's hidden test. Difficulties don't always come as big storms. Sometimes they quietly slip into your life. One day you realize you can't fully trust anyone anymore. Your self-confidence isn't what it used to be. And something inside you feels shaken. That is your breaking point. The moment when life tries to silently break you from within. Now look at those feelings. Pay attention to them. What are they teaching you? When these struggles pass through you, do you come out of them stronger or more broken? Never forget, inner strength never comes without pain. The soul is like a muscle. It forms through resistance, through pressure, through pain. Every time you remain silent, every time you resist anger, every time you choose not to respond, you win an invisible battle within. You didn't break. You transformed. And transformation is not collapse, it is reinvention. For the Stoics, the breaking point was never the end. On the contrary, it was an opportunity to test your inner foundation. Make peace with your anger, your pain, and your fear. They are your teachers, the Stoics said. What does that mean? Your inner discomfort is a signal. It points to something unsettled outside you. If you can face your fears, you can control them. If you understand what breaks you, that weakness loses its power over you. Ask yourself these questions. What sentence shakes me the most? What silence made me cry? What experience made me feel weak, and why? These questions are keys to self-knowledge. Yes, they hurt, but they also unlock the door to true healing, because when you recognize your breaking point, you can turn it into your breakthrough point. Sometimes it's in the moment when we feel most broken that we discover our deepest strength. Sometimes life pushes you, just so you can learn to push past your own limits. Your breaking point is the place where you begin to rediscover who you really are. At that moment, you are no longer the person you were. You are stronger, more aware, and more composed. To become truly stoic, you must change your way of thinking. Marcus Aurelius every morning would begin his day like a soldier going to battle. He protected his mind like a fortress, and he did it with a simple but powerful sentence. Today I will meet people who are foolish, selfish, and ungrateful, but I will not be angry at them because they are like me in nature. This wasn't just a reminder, it was mental armor, because Marcus knew you can't change the world, but you can change your response to it. Imagine two people experiencing the same event. Both lose their jobs. The first says, "I'm finished. My life is ruined. I'm a failure." The second says, "This could be the start of a new opportunity. Let me see what I can learn." Same event, completely different mindset, and in the end, two completely different lives. What life gives you is out of your hands, but what you do with it, that shows your power. Yes, life is a battle, but your first enemy is not out there, it's within you. The real enemy is not the event. The real enemy is the meaning you give to it. Let's say someone belittles your success. If you let that define your worth, you've already lost. But if you say, "That's their measurement of value, not mine," you've already risen. That is inner peace. Now let me give you 3 practical steps. These simple steps will help you become, day by day, a little stronger, a little more balanced, and a little more untouchable. If you practice these steps every morning, just for 3 minutes, soon you'll notice how you respond to life's challenges. With greater wisdom, calm, and strength. 1. Anticipate the unexpected. Before you start your day, close your eyes for a moment and ask yourself, what might disturb my energy today? Maybe I'll get stuck in traffic. Maybe a coworker will speak rudely. Maybe an important meeting will be cancelled. These are all small tests life has prepared for you. If you anticipate them, you'll meet them not with reaction, but with response. 2. Create a calm, conscious response for each situation. Now write down your own responses to these possible scenarios. These responses will become your manifesto of inner peace. This traffic is testing my patience. What a great opportunity. It's a practice in endurance. My colleagues' words are a reflection of their inner chaos, not my worth. If the meeting was postponed, it means life is giving me the chance to focus on something else. Write these responses in your mind, or even better, in a notebook. They will become your mental compass throughout the day. 3. Return to these responses whenever challenges arise. This is where life begins to test you. When you're stuck in traffic, your response is already prepared. When someone speaks rudely, you don't react automatically because you've already trained your mind. You act not under the control of anger, but under the guidance of awareness. It's like a daily workout for your mental muscle. It will be hard at first. Yes, you'll forget sometimes. But each time you return to these responses, your emotional resilience will grow. You might not see results in the first few days, but after a few weeks you'll start to realize people's words no longer shake you the way they used to. Sudden delays don't throw you into panic. Unexpected events no longer shake your world because you are unshakable inside. That is your mental discipline. That is your Stoic shield. These 3 steps may seem simple, but their power lies in repetition and consistency. As you do this daily, even just once, you stop being a reactive person. You enter a state of intentional control. And this transforms you, as Stoic philosophy says, into a person who is firm inside, calm on the outside, and free in the soul. According to the Stoics, life isn't made up of what happens to us. Life is the sum of how we respond to what happens. If you shift your mindset, even hardships can become sources of inspiration. Fears can turn into strength. Your calmness can become your shield. The world will stay the same, but you will become wiser, stronger, and more prepared. Dear friend, if you've made it this far in the video, you are already inside the Stoic Test. And I can confidently say, you're not just a viewer, you are a seeker. Someone searching for their strength, their patience, their will, maybe even searching for themselves. But the purpose of this test is not to break you. It is to wake you up.
Wake up!
Because there is an unshakable power inside you. And that power doesn't come from the outside, not from money, praise, or relationships. That power is what keeps you standing in silence. The good fighter doesn't win on the battlefield. He wins within his own chaos. The Stoics said, true victory doesn't begin with shouting. It begins with answering yourself. If you can stay standing in the midst of difficulty, if you can look at what shakes you and say, this is shaping me, then you've already transformed. We are proud that you're walking this path. Remember, being Stoic is not about turning to stone. It's about not burning in fire, not falling apart in emptiness, and holding on to your strength in silence. This storm is not only testing you, it's testing thousands. But not everyone can find the way out. Some feel alone, and maybe, just maybe, the video you share today could light the way for someone else in the dark. So I ask you this, sincerely, if this message touched your heart, if these words gave you even a little peace, a little direction, a little hope, then please, like the video, share it, and subscribe to the channel. This isn't just a click. This is a marker on your journey toward inner strength. And maybe, just maybe, that click will fortify someone else's breaking point. Because the light you share might become the sun in someone else's darkness. If you're ready, then you're already part of this path of silent strength. Come, let's walk it together. Because being Stoic doesn't mean walking alone. It means uniting in inner freedom. Share your thoughts in the comments, because when you speak, others remember their own silent strength.